Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Elden Ring walkthrough. If you've been watching up to this point, you know that I've had some technical issues with the audio, but I do think that I've got all of that figured out. So hopefully, hopefully the quality of that will improve over the next few episodes and just into the future in general. I've also noticed that I haven't really been playing all that well. Which is frustrating to me because like I've played so much of this game and I feel like I should be doing better. So I think what I'm gonna try to do is just practice a little bit more. Wow, that was interesting. So I'm gonna practice some more off screen just to prepare for the episodes and what I intend to do. And actually I did some of that yesterday, and I was planning to go into the catacombs right down there where that statue was pointing to. But I think what I really want to do instead of that is go around, get some more items, and get enough to level up so that I can use the flail. So at this point, I think all I need to do is get 2 more points into dexterity. And I think that there's some items that I can pick up that should get me to that point pretty quickly. So I'm going to go to the map and show you what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and clear this off by pushing the A button. So we're going to come over to the Gatefront Ruins, to this side of Grace, and then we're going to come up this path. And there's some items and things up in here that we can do that will help us out significantly. So another thing that I want to do is spend some more time just like enjoying the scenery. So I'm going to try not to fast travel too much. But let's go ahead and pick this up. This one's called the Trina's Lily. Not going to find too many of these, unlike that Arteria leaf, which says it's extremely or exceedingly rare. These ones actually are. So let's take a look. Material used for crafting. And there we go. A light purple water lily that is on the verge of wilting. Material used for crafting items, exceedingly rare to find. And yes, this one actually is a lot more rare. A symbol of faith in Saint Trina. Dulls the senses, preventing agitation. We'll learn more about Saint Trina later in the game too. Alright, so let's head over to the Gatefront Ruins. And we'll fight some people along the way just to get a few more experience points. And by experience points, I mean runes. Runes. Oh wow, that was embarrassing. Haha. I use magic to kill you. I know that there's a couple more guys over here. So that, and this one. And I did pick up the kukri. Actually, let me just show you that real quick. So if we go to the equipment, let's go ahead and equip the kukri in place of the glintstone scrap. I can show you. We'll just throw one and let's see how much damage it does. 126 for a throwable item. That's really good. Alright, we got the Lordsworn's Bolt. So that one is going to be another bolt for the crossbows. So well-crafted bolt with an illustrious design, wielded by regulars of a lord's army, deals more damage than its commonplace cousin. Alright, and here we go. Alright, so going up this path, there's quite a few enemies. There are a few items on the ground that we can pick up, but I honestly don't know how important they are right now, so let's go ahead and rest at this side of Grace just so that we have that as the checkpoint. And so there's a bunch of archers, and you can see there's a giant enemy up there, and he is going to come down on us. Got a lump of flesh. And we can come back through here later to pick up more items. He's going to blow his trumpet, but we are going to be long gone before he can do anything, or before they can all catch up to us. So just to not risk anything, let's come up here and pick up this golden seed, which is going to be extremely helpful. And then we're going to go right or east from the path, and there's a few more items that we want to pick up over here. So first of all, let's go ahead and read the item description of the lump of flesh. It's another crafting item. A lump of beast flesh filled with rich juices, material used for crafting items, found by hunting carnivorous beasts, meat suitable for a rustic feast. And then we also have the golden seed, which increases the sacred flask's number of uses. And this was one of the items that we could have started with. The golden seed, found at the base of an illusory tree, increases a sacred flask's number of uses. When the Elden ring was shattered, these seeds flew from the Erd tree, scattering across the various lands, as if life itself knew that its end had come. I really love the artwork on the items and stuff too. And we'll just run right past that one. And we got another smithing stone 1 times 3, so that's really helpful. We got 3 of those. And I think there was one other item over here. I don't want to go too far. We're going to come around here from the other side. And then there's this this set of graves here. I don't know exactly what these would be called, but I'll just call them like grave sites. Tombs maybe. So we've got golden rune 1. We're going to get a lot of good runes here. So getting on torrent. Let's try that again. Getting on torrent gets us up a little bit higher, and then we can also jump up. Some of these items are a little bit more difficult to line up and pick. So come on. If you just spam the button, that can help too. Oh my god. Alright, that was a golden rune 1. Another golden rune 1. We'll just kind of go up and down the rows and pick up all of these. Watch out for the little clumps of those balls there. They do explode. So we've got a rune fragment from them, a golden rune 3. A golden rune 2. A golden rune 5. That's going to be a good one. That honestly, just with those items, we should be able to get the level that we need. Alright, so that looks like that's it. And we're not going to go over into those fields yet. We are going to try and look around and search everywhere, so just keep all that in mind. So this is the gate front ruins that we came through. A bunch of wolves here if you want to fight them. This spot right here. Oh my god. Wow. I meant to double jump and accidentally jumped off of torrent. That was cool. So that's where that big troll was at the top. That he jumped off. I was trying to jump down there, like I said, trying to double jump and epically failed. So let's try that again. And you can go around to the sides of this and spam the button to pick up the crafting stuff if you want. And another thing to kind of show off here is that when you do fall to your death, the runes are going to be at the top where you fell from, not necessarily where you fell to. So we'll just follow that on the map, and here's where they ended up. So if you do that dumb like me, then make sure you pick them up, and it's probably smarter to just come this way. I think these are just more ruin fragments, so again, not necessary to come over here. Wolves. Alright, so let's head up to the next site of grace, and then we'll do a little bit of searching around. pick up some items, and then we're going to end the episode in the Catacombs, because I definitely want to do that before the end of this one. So we're going to have some wolves spawn. If we stay on the path, they'll just kind of spawn out of the air. Interesting. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get them close enough to each other to hit. Nah, that's alright. That was really interesting how they spawned out of the air. I kind of have a theory now. I've never really paid attention to that, but they had like that big gust of wind, almost like a whirlwind around them. That was kind of neat. The demigod that's up in the Stormvale Castle has some attacks that look like that, so I wonder if he is spawning them. It's kind of interesting that I've just now noticed that. Alright, let's go ahead and rest at this side of Grace. And we'll come back there in just a moment and do something. There is an NPC in there. We are going to talk to her, but we'll save that for after we go pick up a bunch of things for her. So, alright, let's go into the inventory. And I'm going to use these runes. I've got the Golden Rune 3, which is going to give us 800. And let me show you one other thing in the menu. If we go to inventory, and if we switch the display, where is that one at? Switch the middle display, that display. I thought that there was simple view. So if you push down on the right stick, you can see your character there, and you can use the items without exiting the menu every single time, and you can see the animation of using them. But I also want to show this one is worth 1600, so that alone is going to help us get to the level that we need to be able to use the flail. And yeah, let's just see how much we have, see if we can get at least 2 levels. And we can also use the flask. So we'll add a charge to the flask using that golden seed. And we've now added that. So if we allocate, now we have a total of 5. So I don't mind keeping 3 for heals and now having 2 for the FP and magic. So that's a good thing. Let's go into level up. And we're going to be able to get, it looks like, 3 levels. So, 2. And we're almost to a 3rd one. So we'll do 18 to dexterity, 10 to strength is what we already had. So now we'll be able to use the flail as our main weapon for now. So, equipment. And you can see it doesn't have the red X like this one does, because we do meet the requirements of it. Our FP cost goes up for the spinning chain, but I don't use those very often, so I'm not too concerned. But you can also see that the damage numbers are in blue, so 112 to 118, up from 102 to plus 16. So we'll be doing more damage, and with it being a strike damage or strike type weapon, we'll be able to do more damage to certain types of enemies that we're going to be fighting soon. Okay, so let's just make sure they're not following us. Look at the map. So we're going to come around in this field here, pick up a few things, and then come around to this forest. So just so you have an idea on the map of what we're doing. With the glintstone arc, this field is actually a really good place to farm some of the crafting items that we need. If you do that, you can take out quite a few of these beasts to get the thin bones beast liver. Let's read that one super quick. So the beast liver is crafting fresh liver of a beast, a luscious fruit of life, found by hunting herbivorous beasts. Dried liver boosts damage negation. So, yeah, any type of spells or anything you have where you can take out like mass amounts of wildlife like that to get crafting stuff is good. And we also picked up the sliver of meat. A slice of thinly carved beast flesh. If there's beast, the dried meat toughens the constitution. So these are going to be items that we can craft using those parts. So, alright, you'll see a big stone disc on the ground over here. This is going to be called an Everjail. So this is the Stormhill Everjail, and you can enter it and fight a boss. This one is extremely difficult, so we are going to do it eventually, but not quite yet. We definitely want to be stronger. Come on. There we go. Trying to get his attention. And this is another one of those, I think they're called Caden Knights. It's similar to the one that was on the horseback that we had fought in an episode or two ago. So let's come on in here. So with my other sword on my practice account, I fought these guys, and it took, I think, 4 or 5 hits with the sword, and you saw it took like 2.5, 3 hits to take him down. So the flail is definitely better. And we just picked up the Arrow's Reach Talisman. So that one increases bow effective range. A talisman depicting 3 arrows carried by hunters of beasts increases the range of bows. So if you're going to use bows and you want to have a little bit more range, that's going to be a good one for you. And again, there are a lot of wolves around here that if you want to fight them, you can, but I don't really feel the need to do that right now. So this is kind of looking down on the area where we started. Some of the ruins down there. A lot of wildlife up here if you want to farm for some of those crafting things. But our next stop is going to be over here at this fallen ruin. There is an enemy that we want to fight. You can see a bunch of like broken pieces of something, like giants or enemies or something. Take a look at this one. And he comes to life. So with the weapon that we currently have, the flail, with it being strike damage, these guys can do a lot of damage, but using strike damage will stun them very quickly. And I'm not sure, yeah, you may notice the little health bar. When we started fighting him, he only had about half of his health bar, so not super difficult. We are going to be fighting full strength ones later, but that one's just kind of a taste of what they can do. So let's climb up here. They're pretty susceptible to glintstone magic as well, so. And here we're going to pick up another emote. So this one is the cross legs. I'm not sure if these have an item description or not. Does not look like it. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, but we can put it over here. Test it out. So cross legs and X to test now. We'll just sit and chill with this guy. So that's it. Kind of cool. I don't use emotes very often, like I've said before, just no real need to. There's a few of them throughout the game that can get you into secret areas and are useful, but I'll show you which ones and where to use those. So for now, we'll just keep moving on. Let's come over here and get this item. This one is called a Starlight Shard. This one can actually be really useful. It's gotten me out of a few hairy situations. This one is used to gradually recover FP. So if you're out of your blue flasks, then you can use that and get some more casting. So an ephemeral sliver that gives off a pale blue glow. What remains of a passing flash of starlight. A prized item that was once used in the Eternal City as an ingredient in intoxicating drafts. That's so cool. I love the item descriptions. It's so neat. So well worded. All right, so now we are heading north into this wooded area up here. There are some fairly tough enemies up here. So we've got like the ghostly jellyfish. They're not too bad. We're gonna try to avoid them. When they're blue, they are not aggressive, but if you hit one of them, they'll turn red and they will attack you. And they do have a poison attack that can definitely hurt. Speaking of which, I should probably heal. So we'll come over here, get another smithing stone 1. We do have some skeletons that are going to be coming out of the ground over here. I don't really want to fight them right now, just because I don't want to hit the jellyfish and end up getting swarmed by them. So let's come back over this way. There are a few more items that we want to pick up over by these tombs up here. Alright, so I'm going to step off. We get this one here, which is a blood rose, and I think we are safe to read the item description. That one is another crafting material, blooms in blood-soaked soil. Blood-slick roses that bloom in blood-soaked soil. Material used for crafting items, particularly beloved by those who serve the Lord of Blood. Glory to his inevitable reign. Again, these item descriptions are so cool, and especially once you've played the game and know who and what they're talking about, it's so cool. Alright, so we got some new ashes to summon. We'll read the description about them soon. Alright, so you can see that poison. And then we got some magic grease. So let's get out of here. Yeah, we can fall down here safely. Alright, so the poison meter, as you take poison damage, that meter builds up. So we're not poisoned currently, but if it filled completely, then we would officially be poisoned, and then we would take slow ticks of damage over time. And I'll try to go over all of the different status ailments as they come up. So, resting at the site of grace does heal any status afflictions. Alright, so let's read item descriptions real quick, then we will talk to this NPC, and then we'll go take care of the catacombs and finish out the episode. So we have the magic grease, which coats an armament, inflicts magic damage. Solidified grease made from a mixture of magically resonant materials. It's a craftable item. Coats armament, adding magic damage to attacks. The effect lasts only a short amount of time. Or it only lasts a short time. I wish I could read better. Alright, this one is the Godric Soldier Ashes. It summons 2 Godric Soldier spirits. Ashen remains in which spirits yet dwell. Used to summon the spirits of 2 of Godric's soldiers. A duo of spirits consists of a wielder of devastating charged hammer attacks in the vanguard and a crossbowman bringing up the rear. The soldiers who serve Godric the Grafted are what remains of the army that fled the royal capital of the Herb Tree. Alright. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk to this NPC and then we'll go take care of the catacomb.
Everyone's been grafted. Everyone who came with me. They crossed the sea for me. They fought for me. Only to have their arms taken. Their legs taken. Even their heads taken. Taken and stuck to the spider. Did you know? If you're grafted by the spider, you become a chrysalid. It's quite a lark when you think about it.
Okay, and she gave us the sitting sideways emote.
You're all on your own, are you? And heading to Stormvale Castle? Enticed by the one in the white mask, I suppose. Oh, you've come to be one with the spider? Well, that makes us 2 peas in a pod. But I don't have your courage. It's scary, you know, having your arms cut off. Or legs. Or your head. I want to be like everyone else, but I'm just too scared. I'm nothing but a craven. Oh, I know. Can you take this little one along with you?
Now we get the spirit jellyfish ashes.
The poor thing deserves someone braver than myself. And the spirits look rather fondly upon you. It'll be glad of your company, I think, the little un. It was a pleasure to see you. Oh, can you pass on a message for me? If you see the little chrysalids in Stormvale Castle, tell them I love them. And that, despite my craven heart, I'm sure I'll be joining their club soon enough. I'm finally getting the hang of this whole pain thing, you know.
Alright, and that's pretty much all that she has to say right now. So she was talking about grafting and Godric. She mentioned the spider and all of her allies, friends that were grafted to the spider. And I think she might be referring to the grafted scion that we had fought earlier. So let's take a look at these spirit jellyfish ashes. Okay, a floating spirit that illuminates its surroundings. Prone to tears, the jellyfish girl searches for her distant home. Will bravely spew poison at foes on her summoner's behalf. It seems her name is Aurelia. Interesting. That's so neat. That is so neat. Okay. Now, let's go back to the map, and we want to be down here. So let's go up to the Church of Ella. We're going to go to the smithing bench real quick, and we're going to upgrade the flail, since that's what I'm going to be using. If you have any items that you are wanting to upgrade or that you would prefer to use, I would recommend using some of your level 1 smithing stones to get them upgraded. So it's going to help the damage quite a bit, and we're going to find so many through the game that it's not a waste at all. So we've upgraded that one to level +1, so now we're going to upgrade it to +2 and upgrade it to +3. Armaments cannot be strengthened any further at the smithing table. So now, if we go back into equipment, you can see that our physical attack is 131 plus 23. So that's a significant increase. All right, and let's go to the catacombs. We'll just ride over there because we have to. There's no other place to fast travel to. And that ruin right up there, that's where we got the cross-legged emote. All right, and here we are. Alright, let's go ahead and activate this and rest. We'll see if we have any runes to level up with, and then we will go ahead and get started. Level up. I do not have quite enough. I could probably use 4 of the level 1 runes, but I'm not going to do that. We'll get enough going through here that we can level up before we take on the boss. So, alright. So I'm going to pause for a few moments, but I will be right back, and it'll just be a quick flash for you. Okay, I am back, and let's go ahead and go through the catacombs. We'll start by talking to this guy. It's similar to the one that was in that graveyard that we started. A proper death means returning to the herb tree. Have patience until the time comes and the roots call to you. Okay. Alright, so you can see there's an item there, and if you press the right stick to lock on, you can see there is an enemy up there, and there's also one over here. So the flail against these guys is extremely useful. Be very careful because that status affliction there is called blood or bleed. As that one builds up, it will... It's similar to poison. It doesn't like tick damage over time, but once it builds up completely, it does a massive amount of damage just in one strike. So just be very aware of that and be careful. So okay, we got another smithing stone and we got some root resin. Pretty sure that we had read that. Yeah, we did. Okay. It is a little bit dark in here, but I don't think it's so dark that you need to use the torch. So here's another good item. The Grave Glovewort. Let's read that one super quick. He's going to strengthen ashes to +1. So the ashes that we have will be able to level up. White flower that blooms in catacombs. Each a soundless bell used to summon spirits. Strengthens ashes to +1. The art of strengthening ashes is known as spirit tuning. Only a spirit tuner may perform this deed. So hopefully we'll find a spirit tuner soon. That'll be cool. And this is locked by some contraption. Cool artwork on there, the tree. Okay, so we've got another enemy there. I would recommend using ranged attacks, so if you have magic or a bow, it helps to take these guys out. Otherwise they'll come down and kind of surround you, so be aware of them. And another new item here, the Grave Violet. This one is a crafting item, a purple flower that blooms in graveyards. The hue of ghost flame is believed to be useful in calling forth spirits. You can kind of see like ghostly flame, smoky stuff coming off the flowers. That's really neat. All right, and we've got another Grave Glovewort 1. And then coming through here, be very careful. Don't go too quickly around the corner. Got another one of these little imps up on the wall. And once the fire subsides, you want to run and come down here. Don't go too far. But we want to keep running down this way. So we'll wait until it's clear. And run. And you can just come behind it and pick up the item. If you hit it, it will go back down into the ground. So if you have a bow or something that you can manually aim for a longer distance shot, you can get it to lower, and it makes it running down those hallways a lot easier. And we got the Prattling Pate Hello. This is kind of a cool item. Let's read the description real quick and then I'll show you what it does. So it emits a voice that says hello. Twisted clay sculpt in the shape of a human head emits a voice that says hello. A wistful fetish that imparts voices and words on an eternal journey. So let's go ahead and use it. So it's like you blow into it and it just says hello. Kind of neat. And we're going to do the same thing, run fast, and then go to the right, roll. And there's a ladder right here that you can go up if you want, but I don't want to skip any of the items, so we'll go back to this pillar and hit it to lower it. And then you can see there's imps on the wall, there's one on the ground, and then there's another one on the right. So we'll just deal with them one at a time. If you want to fight them, I would recommend drawing them out to you. Another thing that you can do is get all of their attention, smack that, and run. And they will burn, so I prefer to just take them out one at a time. It's just less risky. And there's the blood loss, and it killed me. So, fun times. Let's try it again. Annoying. All because I hit the right stick and ended up targeting a different one. So we don't need to go straight forward. There's no worry about them following us or even knowing that we're there. We'll just come down here, take out these two again. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to be coming through here. Some of the stuff respawns. The grave gloveworts do not, but the grave violets do. So, like, crafting materials can respawn. And the pillars, as long as they are down, they stay down. And this one obviously was hit accidentally right as I died, so we'll have to deal with that one again. But there's some items over there that I want to pick up. Oh god, don't die, don't die. Oh, that was too close. Alright, I don't want to die there because I still have to pick up my runes. Okay, that would have been 1800. Alright, let's be a little bit more careful. Okay. One at a time. And I'm not too worried about using all of my magic points and focus points right now. Yes, there is a boss at the end of this dungeon, but we will be able to use the Site of Grace before we fight it, so we'll be able to get everything replenished. Alright. So we got another Smoldering Butterfly and a Ghost Glovewort, which I think the one we picked up before was the Grave Glovewort. The Ghost one strengthens Renowned Ashes, so those are like the stronger, more unique ones. A white flower that blooms in catacombs, a spirit nestles close to it. Ashes which keep their renown even after death cannot be strengthened by merely corporeal glovewort. This one is really cool. So if you look at the picture up by where the little bell flowers are on the left, you can kind of see like a spirit person. It's so cool. I love that. All right. So let's go back over here to the ladder and go up. And I'm going to go ahead and use my last cerulean flask so that I have plenty of FP. Going up ladders, you can push the B or circle button as the running button, and you can move a little bit faster going up ladders. And same with going down ladders. You can slide down them by using that button. So this room, I would recommend trying to do a ranged attack on this imp. He will throw knives at you that do bleed damage or bleed buildup, but as soon as you come up close enough, then you'll have another one at the corner, so it's easy to get ambushed right there. So let's go and take him down. We'll run in here and get another Grave Glovewort and some more ashes, the Wandering Noble Ashes. And this one summons 5 Wandering Noble Spirits. The spirits of nobles who after death now wander the lands between. Surely they were in search of something once, but whatever it was has long been forgotten. In my opinion, this is one of the worst summons. They're very slow, they don't do a lot of damage. I'm guessing really the only purpose to them is just as a distraction, so I mean, I'm sure that they have their uses. But there's one more imp over there. And another Grave Glovewort. So you do need to come down this way. So instead of going back to the ladder, just drop down. Make sure you fall onto this platform here because we need to pull this lever. Which will, somewhere, a heavy door open. So we already know where that door is. And let's go back this way towards the beginning of the catacomb. There's the door, and then back up here is the grace. So let's go there. We'll rest. If we have enough for a level up, we'll do that, just so that if we do die to the boss, we don't take a chance of losing too many runes. So The next thing that I'm going to do now that we have the minimum requirements for this weapon, I'm going to get vigor and endurance up to 15 each. So I'm just going to go back and forth between each of those until we're at 15, and then I'll decide what to do from that point. So all right, let's go ahead and run down to the boss room and see if we can win. So again, having a strike type weapon, the flail magic, is going to be very useful against this boss. And I'm actually going to do something else. I'm going to change the lone wolf ashes to the spirit jellyfish. I like this one, it's fun. So actually, let's take a look. Inventory, this one costs 31 as opposed to, I think it was 55 for the wolves, so it costs a little bit less. It'll be a helpful distraction, and I pushed the wrong button. So okay, so we are fighting against the Erdtree Burial Watchdog. This guy's got some really big heavy attacks with his sword. It's weak against damage, weak against strike, so you want to try and dodge as it's coming down. The shockwave that comes off of the sword can damage you, and he can stab you, and he has fire attacks, and that sucked. This episode is getting longer. It's almost at 45 minutes, so hopefully I will be able to kill it on the next attempt. Just try to keep your distance from it and cast magic, or if you have a shield, you can use that. That can help alleviate some of the damage. But all right, if you die, you want to definitely make sure that you pick up your runes. So push the correct button this time, summon the jellyfish. Let's see, okay, it did get his attention. Come over here. Again, jumping heavy attacks, charged heavies are going to be really good for stagger damage. There we go. So when you get that glowing spot, that means that you're going to do a critical, and you can see just how much damage that did to it on one strike. So much better that time. And we get the Noble Sorcerer Ashes. So we'll read that description, go back to the side of grace, and we'll end. So this one summons the Noble Sorcerer Spirit, spirit of a nobleman who once asked to be given a place at Rhea Lucaria to learn glintstone sorceries. His talents were insufficient to be worthy of donning the stone crown. However, and he is only capable of using the most rudimentary sorcery. So it summons one old sorcerer that can cast Glintstone Pebble, I think. So that one is almost as bad as the Wandering Nobles. So let's return to the entrance. That should take us to the very front door, but we can just spin around quick, go to the side of grace, and then I'll end the episode there, and we will move on next time. So all right, we've rested, replenished, and that is going to be it for this episode. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.